Are you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon, and you're listening to us on the Broadway Podcast Network or watching us on Broadway World or on social media. I love the WP Theater because I love theater that's representing different voices, different people, and original people. No shade, everyone. But I don't need to always see a movie adapted into a musical or a play from something that I've already seen. I want to see new original things with brilliant, amazing artists. We have 3 of them with us, and they're really talented, everyone. Like Drama Desk winner Mary Bacon, or like theater credits, even Hallmark movies, Sasha Diamond. And Amy Jo Jackson and I go back to the pandemic where we once did an interview. I think I was in a broom closet, and it's been a long time since I've been in the closet, everybody. But I think that goes back to years ago. Amy Jo Jackson, welcome back to the show. Mary Bacon, welcome to the show. And Sasha, hi, Sasha Diamond, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, and congratulations on an epic run, an extended run of Dirty Laundry.
Boo, 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 boo.
Boop, boop, boop. Yes, I have. So, Amy, while you're here over on my side here, how was your journey to did you work on the show? Did you audition for the show? How did your journey to the show begin?
Yes. I did a reading of this play, just like a one-day reading in April that Sasha was also in, that I'm pretty sure it was pretty short notice, and I was one of the only people avail for that reading. But then you know what? I booked from the reading. So I'm happy to be however far down on the list I was, because then I was at the top of the list to be hired for the production. So yeah, I didn't know anyone involved in the project. I hadn't worked with WP before. I mean, I'd seen a million things at WP, so I was delighted to get involved with the company. Such great people, mission driven, and like mean it. Do you know what I mean? And kind people. So yeah, thrilled to be here.
Well, everyone, we know that their voice is crazy, and we know that they sing their teeth out.
But you wouldn't know it from the show because it's a play, darling.
But you don't sing in this. I was going to ask you that.
No, bless. Sometimes it's nice not to have to hit an E because it's on.
I understand. And Mary, you are, award-winning and classy.
Nobody in this class knows this.
Oh, okay. She's not award-winning, but she is. And you have your Broadway credits, and you are an actor's actor. Like when you look at some of the things that you have done, like you show up ready to go. So what made you do this show, and what was your journey like to get here?
Well, can I say I came in very late because someone else had to leave. But I know Mathilde, she's like a really dear friend. So I knew Mathilde when because it's autobiographical, y'all, when it happened. And she started writing it. So I've seen it on the page for quite some time. And I've done like a couple, like we would read pages. We would read pages from it. So the chorus was not I understood it. I was like, yeah, you need some help to tell the story aside from just yourself. It made so much sense to me. And it looked actually the way she writes on the page is beautiful. And it was always like, what would this be like on, like theatricalized? Because she also did like an audio version, for Audible. But anyway, so my relationship to the show went back a ways, and they called me and I was like, I happen to be available. And then I just jumped in. But I'm embarrassed because I'm like, I regularly will like miss a line but the chorus is so tight that these two just jump in and say it. And you just cannot worry about it because you got to say something else soon. Right. So you got to just let it go.
So true. I love that. And I love that you could already feel the collaboration between you 3. It must be magical to be on stage. Sasha Diamond, Broadway and theater and television. And I know I was saying Hallmark, which is coming. I hope they play it forever. And I hope you get all those royalty checks all month of December. So yes, come on. And they get smaller as the years go by, but it doesn't matter. Every bit helps. Sasha, what has it been like to be in? You've done a show at WP before.
Yeah, I did. And I'm back. I did Regretfully So the Birds Are, I think it was last season, which was a co-production with WP and Playwrights Horizons, which is really fun.
So what brought you back, and what was it like for you to journey to this show?
I also did that workshop that Amy Jo did. And that was the first time I'd met the play. And it was really beautiful. And I remember Connie Schulman, who's also in this production of it, was also in that reading. And I remember being blown away by her work and just like really excited by the relationships between these characters, and also really excited because I felt like the chorus had a point of view, especially my part, but I could understand my point of view really clearly. And so when it came time to consider doing the production, that was something that was like a guiding light for me. I was like, well, I have a point of view. I have a tap in that's really accessible to me as an actor. And so I feel like I could come in and do this and have fun because I know where we're coming from, where we're going. And I don't want to speak for the other chorus members, but I think they have points of view as well. And I think that's like a really special thing that I found is we're not just narrators, we're invested in the outcome of what's going on.
Yeah, I don't think we've said we are one half of the cast. There's 3 actors who play like the characters, and then the 3 of us are on stage the entire time and we play the chorus, and we're denoted by color just insofar as like that's what our color in the script is. I have mine, I can grab it. But so we're like creating a structure for the play to happen in. So it's like very like Greek narrative chorus, but also sometimes we're like voicing thoughts maybe the characters are having, or the things that they wish they could say, and we're pulling that out so the audience has more context for like basically what's not being said in the like beyond subtext, being like, I wish I could say this, but instead I'm going to ask you if you clean your lint filters when you put your clothes in the dryer.
But I understand. And that's a scary thing because God knows what we'd all be saying if we all had our thoughts just put out there for the world. And this, I want people to know while we're talking, before we get too in the weeds with this, that you can get your tickets. You only have till the 27th. It's already been extended. So you have till October 27th. You can head on down. It's off Broadway. This organization is non-for-profit. They make ticket prices reasonable, and their mission is important for us to have original art and voices heard in New York City and across the country, because God knows where we'll go from here, and maybe, and what it will do. For you all, though, this subject matter is about, it's funny, it makes you laugh. Amy and I were speaking before this that sometimes it's heavy and people have an adverse reaction. So
no, I didn't say averse.
No,
just people
right.
are having a reaction to it.
My apologies, not adverse. It is right. Right. So my question to you is, how do you all deal with your own health while doing this show every single night and carrying a heavy subject matter and living your life up on stage? Amy, what do you do to kind of shake off the show at the end of the night?
The funny thing, this is a thing, like I was actually texting with Sasha about it this week, like because we're on stage the whole time and some of the heavier stuff is like dead center in the play, and we like, you move and navigate through it and it shimmers and shifts. So like by the time I leave the stage, I feel fine. Like I don't feel like there's anything I need to shake off. But I was realizing this week, I was like, why have I been kind of just like exhausted and sad? Like, and I was like, oh, I think maybe I'm carrying more of this play and this story around than I realized, which is a thing that happens. Like if you're doing your job and you're spongy and empathic, like the play works on you in ways that you aren't necessarily conscious of. So, good question. I didn't think I needed like a decoupling process after the show, but I've been taking baths. I've been taking baths and sleeping a lot, really.
That sounds good to me. Mary, do you have anything that you do as an actor or an actor tip when you walk off the stage?
I don't know if you know Andrew Lindsay, who ran Primary Stages. He was my husband. He died a year and 8 months ago. So I'm walking through active grieving as you can. So people ask me after the show all the time, was that triggering for you? And I'm like, I think that what happens, and also Coal Country that I did was all about grief. What happens is also, it's not just your own, whatever it touches in you, you're also carrying what the audience it brings up for them, and they'll greet you after and they'll be like, whoa. And that was very similar when I did that show. So, I mean, I go home and I watch some whatever Netflix thing, but I do have to say, this cast, the whole cast, except for Richard, the Golden Bachelorette. And I got on board, and I you guys, I watched it last night, and Chalk has to go. But I mean, that's what you do. But That's what you do, you know. But there is something too about being on stage for the whole thing, because it doesn't end in this sad, heavy way. It's what I love about this play and about Mathilde is that, you know, it's like she's given everyone, the bad guy, the good guy in the play, like grace and dignity and humanity. And so no one is just one thing or the other. And it's life. And it's like life gives you what it gives you, and this is what you do with it. And this is what she did with it. That she made this play, and she has these relationships now in her life now, like, because it's autobiographical, that she's it's astounding. Some people will never talk to their dad ever again, you know, that happens all the time. And so I just feel like she's also modeling that. So I don't know, I think it's processing. I think the play processes you.
And the audience is going to get to go through that process with you. And that's such a gift that you get to give them every single night through your art and work. Sasha, what about you? What is your emotional roller coaster like? And what do you do when you walk off the stage?
You know, I also have not been like thinking of this as a heavy lift, even though it is. But I think it's also that we watch our castmate Lakeisha do some really incredible, deep emotional work. And so in comparison, it kind of feels like we've got a relatively light lift. But I think there is really something to being in this room, welcoming the audience's grief, their individual processes that they're going through, and then sitting in that together is actually very impactful. And there's a moment when I get to be physically with the audience for a portion of time, and I actually get to like watch from their perspective and breathe with them and listen to them and listen to the, you know, when you're in a body of bodies, you can hear people's sniffles, you can hear people's inhales, you can hear their whatever tension their bodies are holding. And so to sit among that and get to experience their journey as the body of the audience is really, that for me is like maybe the inside version of a post-show release is like just remembering that it's not just my body in space. I'm in community with all of these other people, and they are also going through something that is brand new for them, whereas we've experienced it every night for the last few weeks. And my job is just to be with them and to know that that's present as well. So I think that also, like, in this world where like a lot of stuff is going on and a lot is really hard, I actually don't know if like going home and shaking it off would even be a possibility. Like, I actually feel like the work is being present with it in community and then showing up the next day and doing it again, you know?
Absolutely. And you were talking about Lakeisha May, who is so brilliant in everything and beautiful and we've had her on the show and she is just a superstar. So I'm happy you all are just superstars. So I love the idea. When I was reading about the show, I would love to see the show, but I'm in Detroit until November and then I can't be there, but I want to see it because I think the ideas of this, as I'm going to turn 41, and as you turn 41 or in your 40s, your parents get older and you get to have ideas and thoughts about, well, if my grandparents are gone, does that mean your parents are next? And what happens when you lose friends? And when you have a partner and you look at them and you say, well, what am I going to do when you're not here? And what is life like after this part of life is over? And some of these questions, friendship, relationships, and family, I think it's universal, Amy, for everybody.
Yeah, our director, Rebecca Martinez, who's fantastic, was saying that there was an evening where there was like a board event type thing, and so people were schmoozing a bit afterwards, and so we came into rehearsal the next day. So when we were still in previews, and she said someone had said to her, you know, in the West, but certainly in America, we don't really have any collective grieving rituals. We're just supposed to like. We have like our couple moments where it's like socially acceptable, but even then it's like, how strong, you know, like we're not afforded space to like collectively mourn, not really. And they said like this felt like a collective ritual where we could just like be together and acknowledge that like everyone is in different stages of carrying some kind of grief, but whether it's grief for the world or something, you know, like what Mary's been going through, like there's so much of it. And I think we feel very alone in it when it's so universal. And that's like really profound to be able to be part of something that just like holds space to be like, I feel like depending on, what the news has been like or what I've been going through, like the play hits me differently every night. And there's room for like what we're doing as like these storytellers on the just on the edges of the story to be able to like let it hit me different ways. Like the play can withstand that because it is going and hitting against so many different pockets of the human experience in a really beautiful way. I think it's a really gorgeous play that it feels like an honor to be able to like offer that to an audience.
Absolutely. And Mary, you were talking about taking your moment to watch The Golden Bachelor or Bachelorette and the moment, and the show is funny and there's funny moments. And how important is the comedy to the subject matter? How important is laughing through grief in general?
Well, the construction of the play, like there's a really intense scene with Lakeisha and her mom, dying in the hospital. And then the very next scene is Connie's character trying to find a poem for the father to read at the funeral. And it is one of the funniest moments in the play. And the audience needs to laugh. You know what she's doing as soon as she starts. So it's like those things you need it at the same time. That's life. It's very funny and also what's so funny about like things just don't make sense. They don't make any sense. I love that moment. And I notice it. I notice it every night how much the audience loves that. Like it's so funny and it's so well constructed to have it right there. And it's a very intense few minutes up into that point. So there's a lot of comedy in the play. I mean, there's a lot of comedy, like an older parent not knowing how to do something, and then the impatience of the younger, adult child, like, oh my God, I can't, you've never done this. Mother did this for the whole time. We all relate to that. Even just getting older in general. Again, Connie's character getting she's in the drugstore. I will leave that for your audience to discover. But those are the moments that are so golden.
Yeah, you don't cast Connie Schulman expecting it to not be funny. Do you know what I mean? Like you cast Connie Schulman to come in and like just like bam, 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 like get those laughs.
Absolutely. That's why you got to buy a ticket so you can see it for yourself. Ooh, you just gave me flashbacks to last summer going on vacation with my father and going to the airport. And I said to him, "Did you raise me? Are you capable of raising a human? Because do you know how to do any of this? We used to go on a plane. You don't know where do you drop your luggage off? I mean, it hasn't changed that much, everybody." So I understand, but I love him dearly, but yikes. Sasha, this group, this theater company, WP in itself, the director, the writer, this cast of these amazing performers here. What is the family like at a theater company like this versus other places? Like this is a intimate space. Everyone has a good seat. They work with this common mission. So what is it like when you work in a place like this where there's a collective goal and mission with this group?
Well, the team as a whole is led by Lisa McNulty, who's the artistic director of WP Theater. And I think Lisa's created this incredible family at the theater in terms of the production staff to begin with, right? Like I think we're all feeling loved and family, but she started it and it trickles down into her staff, who are a team of like incredible people who show up every day full of joy and presence and like capability. And then it trickles down to the rehearsal room. And our co-producer, Lori Bernhardt, who's also incredible. And they're just like two heads of this machine that are so supportive. And I think it does trickle down and we all feel, I think, held and loved and supported. And I think we support each other. And this work is not always easy. I think it's silly in a lot of ways, right? We're not solving world hunger, but it doesn't mean it's always easy. And I think we've all been there for each other in times when it's been really tough, and we've been able to like communicate. And working with the play that's difficult material, I think the discussions of crafting it have been had with a lot of like gentleness and grace towards this thing that's difficult for a lot of people, I think.
Well, I'm hooked. I'm sold. I want people to. I need y'all to get a ticket. Hang up right now with us here and go get a ticket. It's to October 27th. Dirty Laundry at the WP Theater, and we gotta support theater companies like WP Theater and these theater companies that are out here for original voices and stories to be heard, because it's where art is made, curated, crafted, and loved, and we need to really support that. No matter where you live, around this country and this world. I'm excited for you all. Thank you for doing the work, and thank you for tackling something that is universal to us all. I know you probably healed and helped a lot of people out here with this run.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
No, please. We love it. We love it. Everybody's gonna get their tickets, and then my show is your show anytime. Amy, you could come back and talk to me any moment.
I'm available.
Done. And Sasha and Mary, you just come on down to the anytime. Anytime. Thank you for spending time with us. I know you got a whole weekend worth of shows to get through, and you spend some time for us and the people listening. So we appreciate you all.
Thank you. Enjoy Detroit.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We would love to have you guys at the theater.
We'll be there.
Good time. You will.